Right.
You sit and look fantastic. It's all about being comfortable and being you. You're good?
Yeah.
You're good?
Yes.
What's wrong?
Nicole is actually pointing out that we're still live. Nicole, thank you for trying to watch out for us. Okay, I got it.
All right. Okay, so anyway, I'm here with Dr. Timothy Morley. Do you go by Timothy or Tim?
Tim.
Okay.
Call me Tim.
Call you Tim? And what kind of doctor are you?
Okay, so a little bit of my history. Basically, my residency was in emergency medicine. So I did that for a little while, and I was also certified in pain management. So I was actually practicing pain management for many years.
What does that mean, pain management?
Pain management is basically people who have some sort of physical injury. You know, whether they fell off a ladder, or they hurt their knee and they just had surgery. Somebody who kind of needs pain control.
Okay.
So I basically did that for quite a while, and I was working with physical therapists and surgeons, etc. So I did that for a while. And actually, what happened with me was I was actually working out and I had a shoulder injury. I actually tore my pec. So I have a good friend of mine named Dr. Tomas Redner, and he was up at Harvard. He practices a different type of medicine. He was also a pain management doctor, but he practices what's called integrative medicine, which is kind of new. It's not officially a discipline, but a lot more doctors are looking at medicine kind of like an integrating different concepts, nutrition, diet, supplements, etc. Integrating that into a basic regular medical practice. That's what integrative medicine is. So my buddy Dr. Redner was saying, you know, hey, look, you're hurt. And he's been trying to get me more into the integrative medicine for like years. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm busy. So I never really did it.
Plus, you have this background in pain management.
Yeah.
You know how to treat it.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Okay.
So I had the surgery, and so my buddies, so Dr. Render's saying, hey, look, just shut up and do what I tell you to do. So he sent me some supplements, put me on some things, and like the difference was amazing. And, like, you know, the surgeon at the Cleveland Clinic, world-renowned Cleveland Clinic, told me it's going to be like a year before you're back to maybe 80%. Like 3 months later, I was already doing push-ups. So it really made a big difference in me. So I'm like, hey, there's something to this. So became certified in that through various courses and tests and oral exams, etc. So I became certified in that, and really for the last several years I've been doing just that.
And what is it? Like, what did he give you? What is it? Supplements? Is it food?
It's really it's what I tell you what it is. It's based on blood work. So I did a very large blood panel. That's what I do in my practice. I do very large blood panels on people, and you test everything. You know, you test, for example, a basic thyroid panel is 2, if you're lucky, 3 thyroid markers. I check 13. Okay, you know, just like, and I have a lot of patients who are low in thyroid, and their doctors just, you know, give them a Band-Aid to give them some thyroid hormone, and that might not be what you need.
Right.
For example, you know, a real patient who I just saw recently. You know, she was 35 years old, diagnosed with low thyroid at age 25. She was gaining weight, hair falling out, cold, didn't feel good. So her doctors gave her some what's called Synthroid, a thyroid medication. And for 10 years, she was saying, well, I felt a little better, but still didn't feel right, still gaining a little weight. So I did my blood panel, and, you know, it turns out that she was very low in zinc and very low in selenium. And you can't make thyroid hormone without zinc or selenium. Or iodine.
She was never going to get fixed.
She was never going to get that. So, you know, I basically started her on some supplements, and her thyroid came back. She got off first Synthroid, and she's feeling great now. She's losing weight, and she saw her recently.
How many people that you do this blood work on do you actually find are deficient in something, or are most people? I mean, are there other things that surprise you? Because I spoke to the guys, you work at the arena, and 2 people there said they were iodine deficient, and when they finally got that back up and running, they ended up losing like 20 pounds.
Oh yeah. Iodine deficiency, I mean, you know, I see that all the time, and it's not just deficiencies in nutrients, which, by the way, is a big problem in the United States. It's, you know, over the last 50 years or so, how we farm, what we do, we're really depleting a lot of the nutrients in our food. And so that's why we're starting to see things like selenium deficiencies, iodine deficiencies.
Isn't iodine salt? Isn't salt?
Well, iodine is in salt. They used to put it in salt. Now they put bromine in salt, which, by the way, is, you know, they don't use that in Europe because they say it causes cancer. We use it here. Right. So, you know, it's, that, in my opinion, is a problem. But yeah, I mean, there's, you know, depending on what you read, you know, 40% of people are iodine deficient, and in the United States.
That's a
So-
very big number.
It's a big number.
What-
And iodine, by the way, is not just for thyroid. I mean, low iodine is definitely linked to, for example, breast cancer. So, I test iodine.
Yeah.
It's something that's important. But I also, it's not just the supplements and the nutrients. A lot of what I test are, like I said, the thyroid. I test all your hormones. There are hundreds of hormones, but it's just the main hormones.
Right.
Testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, pregnenolone, DHA. A lot of hormones that, as we age, hormones drop. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
And so, you see that. And you see when hormones are depleted, it affects, everything in your life. So we, try to fix hormones.
Wait, can we go back to iodine for a second? Because
Sure.
40%, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around
Up
that.
to 40%.
Where do we find iodine in our diet?
Food. Well, what's interesting is in Japan, nobody is iodine deficient, and thyroid problems are almost unheard of. So it's think of that type of food like kale. They eat a lot of seaweed.
Yeah.
Seafood type stuff. That's where you can get some iodine. A lot of people just need the supplements.
They do. Okay. So I'd love to. I just have to just take one quick pause. Who does he look like to you? I'm sorry. I'm looking at you, and it's very hard for me to focus and concentrate because I've never been this close. I will let you guys guess as I keep going along because I mean, you don't see it because you're living in it.
I know. Well,
And people
like I
have
said,
never said it to you.
look-
You don't look like your Uncle Dan.
I look like my Uncle Denny.
Yeah, Denny. No, you don't
That's-
look like your
that's what
Uncle
everybody
Denny.
tells me.
No, you look like someone else.
Okay.
I'm sure
Well,
people will tell me in a split second. So a lot of women ask me all the time about hormones and how in the world can you possibly get around it when it's just sort of it's the next thing coming as we get older. What do you say? What do you do with women?
Well, you can't get around the fact that as we age, hormones will drop.
Right.
It just happens. That's, for example, what menopause is. It's, as you age, estrogen and progesterone just tend to drop, and then you have other problems as well. You have the hot flashes, the night sweats, etc. Even when you get through that, low estrogen can cause other problems. Low estrogen is associated with osteoporosis or cardiac disease, etc. So as we age, hormones drop. Sometimes dietary supplements and a certain diet can help. That's usually going to help with the symptoms, but there's really no way around the fact that as you age, hormones.
There's nothing you can do to prepare for it, to get your body in a good shape, to up your calcium or your vitamin. I mean, anything that.
I mean, again, nutrition is key,
Yeah.
but it's not going to stop in a male, it's not going to stop testosterone from dropping. It's 1 to 2%
How
per
does
year.
it manifest in a male? Like we go through the hot flashes and the weight gain. Like we really got the crappy end of hormone
Yeah, you did.
changes. We did.
You know?
Ugh.
How does it manifest in men? It's interesting because there's a term for it. In women, they call it menopause. In men, they call it andropause. Okay? So andropause is a term that's kind of like the male equivalent of menopause. So, as you age, testosterone drops. And when a testosterone drops in a man, obviously things happen. The question is really, what does testosterone do? Testosterone builds muscle, it burns fat, it makes you feel good. Long-term benefits of testosterone is it decreases inflammation, which is important because inflammation is associated with 7 of the top 10 leading causes of death. That's why low testosterone is a risk factor for cardiovascular disease. But so, as you age, testosterone drops and you start to feel those effects. You start to lose muscle mass, gain fat, the man boob type thing.
Yep.
That happens. Loss of libido in older men, that's testosterone driven. So it definitely manifests itself.
Okay. So now you take these very detailed blood tests. Were you testing for everything? So tell me other things you're testing for, because I will admit that I just did this, but it took a long time. I have a horrible needle phobia, so it took weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks for me to finally let this lady take my blood. She took a few vials, I passed out, and went on my merry way. And everyone's like, well, what are they looking for? I'm like, well, iodine and other things. Did I mention the iodine? But that's all I knew. So tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for.
Well,
that you're not going to find if you go to your general practitioner just to get your normal workout.
Sure. So we test a lot of the vitamins. Okay, one of the things that's interesting and that we see a lot of, I test for certain toxins. Okay, so toxins are out there in the environment. You know, for example, the average American eats about 4 pounds of pesticides per year, and there are a lot of things in those pesticides that really shouldn't be in our bodies. And so what happens, you know, the human body has evolved over, you know, 100,000 years or hundreds of thousands of years, and we don't, you know, we weren't exposed to those toxins as we evolved. So today, now all of a sudden, over the last 50 years, 75 years, we're inundated with these toxins, and our body, we don't know what to do with them, okay? So we don't know how to get rid of them. So what we do is we store them, okay? So where do you store toxins? You store toxins in fats, okay? So the next question is, where are fats in your body, okay? Fats are in your body are 4 places. One is just, you know, the fat that you see. Second would be your hormones. Many of your hormones come from fat, they come from cholesterol. Okay. Third would be your nervous system. You know, up to 60% of your brain is actually fat. 25% of your peripheral nerves, your other nerves are fat. And your immune system is largely made of fat. So, you know, we see people who have elevated levels of aluminum or other pesticides, other toxic metals, etc. And those toxicities tend to manifest themselves in one of those 4 areas. You know, they have nervous system problems or immune problems. A lot of immune problems are, you know, from toxins. You see in weight loss, for example, you know, if you're storing your toxins in your fats, your body, you could actually become weight loss resistant because your body doesn't want to burn that fat and release those toxins.
That's interesting.
So that's why, like, you should always do a detox. I mean, I do a detox once or twice a year. It's something that you need to get you out of your body if you want to be healthy.
But I always hear the other side of it is that we're born with our own detox system, our kidneys, right? And detoxes are all commercial based and they don't really do anything for you. And there's no reason for it.
It depends. I mean, first of all, it's true our kidneys do kind of like clean our blood, but kind of remember what I said. You know, our body has never really had to clean arsenic. Our kidneys don't know how to do that. Okay, arsenic's heavily used in pesticides, especially around here. I see, you know, elevated arsenic all the time. People think their wives trying to kill themselves.
Yeah, really.
It's not that. This is they're eating non-organic foods. So, you know, yeah, we test, we see if there's elevations, and then you could do, you know, even a more detailed detox. But you'd be surprised what you find. I mean, keep this in mind. This will shock you.
I'm already shocked. How much more can you shock me with?
Well, listen to this. You know, over the last 50 years or so, there have been over 5,000 chemicals that have been added to our food supply. Okay? A lot of the food that we're eating is not even real food, you know? So I mean, you know, if you go to, where are you from? You said you were born somewhere, you speak French?
Yeah, I grew up out of the country, in the Caribbean.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, if I was in France once and I was at a grocery store and I walked by the strawberries and like 4 aisles later, you're still smelling the strawberries, okay? Here, you know, you got to put the strawberries to your nose before you smell.
And what does that mean?
You know, it's not organic. It's not real. A lot of these things, you know, when you see Fuji apples and that are grown from, you know, thousands of miles away, and they're shipped here, and they still look like they were just picked yesterday. What do you think?
Oh my gosh,
And those
I'm
are
really getting stressed out. And now I
Don't
worry
get
that
stressed.
I give my kids. I pride myself on making sure my kids have fruits and vegetables, but I don't always get organic.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't want to be an alarmist. It's not like we're all toxic, but
Only half of us.
only half. Only half.
Actually, we have somebody here who was talking about the fact that you look like Bo Bridges. That was the
No.
guess.
Okay.
Think bigger than Bo Bridges.
What bigger? Better looking.
Well, yeah, obviously better looking. Bigger as in more famous.
More famous.
And has been sort of in the news in the last couple of weeks. He's been in the news the last couple of weeks. Keep guessing. I stress out over not buying organic.
Well, it's better to buy organic. You know, it just is. It's. But what you said,
Is it
you know,
too
you're
late
worried.
now? One of my kids is 3 and one is
No.
20 months.
Plenty of time. don't
All
know.
right.
But so,
Well, I'm
you know,
52.
50,
you're
it's,
done.
it's never too late to start.
You're
Never
finished.
too
I'm
late to
finished.
start.
I don't need to go on the diet on Sunday.
No, you're done. We're doing a one. I'll tell you about it afterwards. Go.
But I tell you what I've found. I have found that, you know, the human body, your body is smart, and it has an amazing ability to be healthy and to heal itself when you give it the opportunity. But you have to give it the opportunity. You know, you have to eat right, eat the right foods. You know, organic is better, for
Okay.
example, and get tested. I mean, you know, a lot of the things. You know, a lot of the foods now are again depleted in nutrients,
Right.
etc. So, you know, a lot of people aren't deficient, but a lot of people are.
Well, we're gonna find out. So what
We're
happens now?
gonna-
You and I are gonna sit down, and I did this last week. So what? Another week or so? That
About a
you'll
week.
have everything back, and then you'll just look through everything, and you'll tell me how amazing I am and how ridiculously
much.
healthy I am.
Absolutely.
Pretty much. Did you say there? Is anyone asking anything right now? Because I'm still trying to process the fact that I've not bought organic food for my kids, and it stresses me a little bit.
No, there's not.
I gotta get back into that for 1 second. Do you miss? But is there a part of you that sort of misses working?
The
with, like,
question is actor or sports?
actor.
The guess here is Richard Gere.
Nope, it's not Richard Gere. You guys, it is so painfully obvious to me. I don't know how you don't see this. Actor in the news last couple of weeks.
You want to give another hint?
Okay, let me think. Actor in the news.
Oh, we got Brad Pitt.
Well, so much for my hint.
Big
It is
Mom.
indeed Brad Pitt.
I've never heard that.
I don't even understand how that's possible. You never heard that. Well, you look like Brad Pitt.
Maybe it's the light.
Emergency medicine, pain management. I mean, that's
Aaron
like
Galt also got Brad Pitt.
Yeah, because it's Brad Pitt. That's why they got it, because that's the answer.
Oh, we gave away the answer.
You did. That's why I said don't give it away quite yet.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part. I was looking at
It's
it.
okay.
I can't multitask.
No, that's good. Don't you miss sort of the sort of the rush?
Yeah, you know, it's about the reward,
Okay.
and it's I find this very rewarding. It's, you know, a lot of mainstream medicine today is, it kind of like lets you get sick, and then once you're sick, it tries to treat you.
Right.
Okay. What I do is more preventative in nature. It's
Okay.
let's stop you from being sick in the first place. And then if you are, instead of throwing a Band-Aid or a pill at you, let's kind of get to the root cause and try
Yeah.
to fix it.
Pharmaceutical companies love you, probably, right?
No.
Tell me about. So your website is called Tomorrow Medicine.
Actually, I had a question here. How do you strengthen your lymph node system?
How do you strengthen your lymph nodes?
Just your lymph node system. That was the question. I don't know.
Your lymph system. It's part of your circulatory system.
You make it healthier.
Exercise. Lymph is kind of like returns, like kind of non-used blood type things back to your heart. Exercise is the best way to do it.
All right, let's do it.
Massage doesn't hurt anything.
But go with exercise. I feel like it's healthier for you. What is Tomorrow Medicine?
Tomorrow medicine, you know, we say it's tomorrow's medicine today, and that kind of goes along with integrative medicine.
Yeah.
It's, you know, a lot of what we do is well, let me back up and I'll tell you, a lot of things in medicine, you know, they're figured out by these PhD guys in these, you know, universities, and then they write a paper about it, and eventually it gets into a textbook, and then eventually that gets into medical schools. So there could be a time lag in some of the newer type things. So what we try to do is we just kind of try to short circuit that. You know, we keep abreast of the newer developments, etc., read the studies, and try to bring that medicine into today's world. Tomorrow's medicine today.
Okay. Do you have kids?
I do. I have 2 daughters.
Do you?
Two lovely, wonderful daughters.
Are they going to follow suit?
No.
Really?
No. My daughter is, my older daughter Claire, graduated from Georgetown, brilliant girl. She works for a consulting company, works at the State Department. My
Wow.
other daughter, Olivia, is a hoot. She is a sophomore at Fordham.
Here.
Yeah.
Nice.
And my wife speaks French well. She's a French
Nice.
teacher.
Oh wow. In the city?
Well, she was a French teacher. She's semi-retired.
Was she in Westchester? Because I
She-
did French in Westchester.
Did you? I know. She was actually from another part of the country.
Gotcha.
From Ohio.
I was just gonna say, Lance's father was a very, very, very famous doctor here in New York. Did incredible work, like incredible work. And Lance, I mean, wanted Lance to be a doctor and all of it, and Lance bucked the system the entire way, and he went into his own thing. Lance also is from Ohio, right, Lance?
Yes.
I heard you talking about the World Series.
Lance
I used to,
does
I was
social media for Jose Bautista.
Oh, okay.
right. So the Blue Jays lost yesterday. It's sad, but at least I mean, like if you're gonna have two teams, I was born in Chicago and I lived in Columbus, Ohio. So
Okay.
a Chicago, Ohio World Series, I never thought I'd actually see in my lifetime. So
Boy, that's for sure. Yeah.
that's something.
Were you rooting for?
You know,
Cleveland here?
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, all the way. We had a
It's
good
a
year.
big year for Cleveland.
Big year. How about it?
Because let me tell you something.
LeBron's brave. Yeah.
Enjoy it now. This is not going to follow suit on the football field. This
Well,
is all
maybe
you guys
actually.
have
Oh, you mean for Cleveland? I didn't.
for the Browns.
Right, because the Buckeyes look like they're going to have a decent
Yeah,
year
the
this
Browns
year.
will not.
No.
I can guarantee you they will not.
But I can guarantee you that most people in Ohio really care more about.
No, I can't hear you. So I was trying to look at your mouth, but your mouth was right behind the camera, so I couldn't see your mouth.
Oh, they care more about the Buckeyes than the Browns.
than they do about the Browns?
Right.
Columbus for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time the Browns were really big? Didn't OJ play for the Browns?
No, Jim Brown played.
Oh, Jim
Browns.
Brown played
No,
for the
that's going back.
Browns.
It's
Right.
in the 60s.
That was the last time they were relevant, really.
No, they had.
Oh, they had like they nearly got into the Super Bowl once.
Kosar for a while.
They
Yeah,
nearly got
Bernie
into the
Kosar.
Super Bowl once.
What
like,
about Ocho Cinco? Did he play for the Browns?
that was the
Cincinnati.
Bengals.
Cincinnati. Darn it, I really don't know anyone that played for the Browns.
Not many people do, I guess.
No. Neither does Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
He doesn't play
Boy,
for the
that's
Browns
sure, yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Right.
They'd be better off with Tebow.
Oh, who was the quarterback? They used to play for Florida. Bernie Kosar?
Yeah,
Bernie
Bernie
Kosar was
Kosar.
from, yeah, Miami.
Miami.
Yeah, a local boy.
While we're doing random quarterbacks, whatever happened to Dante Culpepper? Just had to ask. Went to Central
Wow,
Florida.
weird. He followed an account I followed on Twitter a couple weeks ago.
Really? He
Like
went
one
to
of our
Central
colleagues.
Florida with Wally Zerbiak. Didn't Wally Zerbiak come out
Wally
to Central
Zerbiak
Florida?
lives out in, I think he's out on Long Island.
I went through a random phase where I wanted to know where every single professional athlete went to school.
He's actually
The
been
phase
on.
That's
lasted
pretty
about
random.
8 minutes. I
Yeah.
was done. I got through Central Florida and I was
7
like,
minutes too
finished.
long.
Yep. 7 minutes and 30 seconds too long. I wanted to just go back and ask you one other question about pain management because my brother is a plastic surgeon and I'm always fascinated when he tells me he has a patient that comes in and will say like, I just have to tell you, like my finger really, really hurts, and they'll say, well, there's actually nothing wrong with your finger. It's like I still have the pain, and I was like, well, what do you think it was? He's like, well, no, there's like such bad pain addiction that's going around that a lot of people are coming in and feigning pain to get themselves more medicine. And I'm so naive. I was like dumbfounded by this. I had no idea. Did you find a lot of it back then, or not as much?
You know, I mean, you could kind of sniff that out. I mean, doctors are going to be fooled sometimes by drug seekers.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, you got to do the tests. You got to figure out why they're in pain. And if it's legit, you know, then they should be treated. But, yeah, you know, you get your scammers.
Is there too much pain medicine that we are doling out in this country? Is that the problem? Is that why it's so prevalent?
Yeah, I mean, I think that narcotic use, I mean, just more different medications are coming out for pain. I mean, they're using other things like pain, like medications that kind of calm nerves as opposed to just narcotics. Narcotics just work on your brain, and you're actually still in pain. You just don't feel it. Okay,
Right.
you know, deadens your pain sensitivities. But you know, there's downsides to that, and in the long run, it's not a good thing to be on. In general, I mean, there are some people who need it, but you know, if you do it right, pain doctors, well, most of them, they're all legitimate.
Right.
So,
Oh yeah, I have no doubt. I'm just
I should have a question here.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
A couple of things. What blood tests do you recommend for a perimenopausal woman?
Yeah, that's estrogen, progesterone, DHEA, pregnenolone. Testosterone is a big one. Cortisol. Those would be the big ones. Thyroid for sure. A lot of women who go through menopause become hypothyroid, low thyroid. That's why a lot of women gain weight after menopause.
right.
So, and I should say, can I keep going?
Anything really?
You know, I think that weight loss is actually one of the most misunderstood things in medicine. And I think that's obvious because, I mean, who doesn't know people who went on a diet, lost weight, and then 6 months later they gain all the weight back.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens is you're basically creating hormonal imbalances when you just go on one of these basic weight loss programs. You know, if you don't eat, that will cause hormonal imbalances. You know, so if you're gonna lose weight, like what we do is we test the hormones. We test the main hormones that control your weight: thyroid, cortisol, insulin. There's a couple new hormones. Well, I mean, newer: leptin and ghrelin. If you have hormonal imbalances with those, it's going to be almost impossible to lose weight and keep it up.
Until you fix it.
Until you fix
those
the
up.
exactly.
Anyone, you need to go get your blood test like I did, but get in line because I'm first. I already had my blood taken.
So another question, I mean, along those lines.
Can you just speak up a tad?
I'm sorry. If the question is, if somebody wanted to find a doctor in Kentucky, or I'm going to plug in any place in the United States with a similar thought process as the doctor, how would they go about doing that?
Like, what kind of doctor do they look
Right,
for?
yeah, what kind of doctor, I guess, and how do you sort of make sure?
Oh, that's
Does
a
your,
good
like,
question.
is there a service that they can go get their blood tested and send their bloods into you?
It's, I mean, you could call my office. I see patients. I had a patient yesterday call from London, actually. He's going to come and see me. But, you know, you could Google just integrative medicine, functional medicine. I don't know where in Kentucky you are, but I'm sure that there are doctors who practice this. I do a little unique. I mean, my practice is unique in that I really do a very large blood panel, larger than most.
Come to New York, come on the show, we'll talk about it. Go see Dr. Morley, but not before me because I'm going in next week.
Is this like covered by insurance, or how does that work?
That's something we should talk about. You'd have to come in and discuss. It's mostly covered by insurance, not entirely, but it's affordable for sure.
Okay.
But we do offer free consults. So I mean, if you could Google us at tomorrowmedicine.com. Sign up. I have a wonderful staff of some great nurses, Donna, Dana. They're both great.
Donna and Dana work there?
Both Donna and Dana. Yeah.
I knew Dana did. I didn't know Donna and Dana did.
Donna and Dana?
Yeah, both of them work there.
Do you know them?
No. Just to be
I actually think
I just
know
wanted to
what
give them a Donna
Yeah.
and Dana. They're great. But so anyway, so you could come in and do an initial consultation. And a lot of like what I do and what I want to do is educate. A lot of people are unaware of all this. So you can actually come in and sit down with one of the nurses for a half hour or so, and they can explain everything, explain the weight loss, explain the hormones, explain what we do.
Is
Would it be okay if I ask a question?
Of course.
Well, the other day I was asking questions.
No,
like,
you
I
asked
got you angry
27
on me.
questions in a row.
I raised my hand. I was
So cute. Of course.
Yeah, I'm the cutest.
Now I feel terrible.
No, I raised my hand.
But before you ask the question, I just want to say, if Marcy, tune in or like speak up if you're paying attention or watching or listening, because this is exactly who I wanted you to go see, because I think he would be perfect for you. I'm not going to say what the situation is. She's premenopausal. I guess I just said it. But I think you have a lot of questions, and so I'm going to give you a second while we hear the question and we keep talking. So just tune in. This is the guy you're going to see. How to make it personal. Sorry, go ahead.
Hi, Marcy.
I'm Marcy.
So my question is there a benefit to having this data, and in general, like medical data, trended? So like, you come in, you'll take my blood test now, but some other doctor took my blood test, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Is that data is not trended anywhere? It would be beneficial to you?
We're trying. I mean, there's a big push for that. But at the end of the day, the more information that you have, the better. So, I always want to see previous blood work, and you take a thorough history, and that's
but a lot of times you don't have. Like, I would never be able to get you my.
No, but they are trying to do that. I mean, I think someone else at the Today Show, I interviewed someone who was trying to. I mean, they're years away from it, from like a national database.
And that's what they want is if you're in.
Marcy
Colorado.
says she's here and she thanks you for announcing to the world.
I know. I'm sorry about that. I apologize, but Marcy, I'm doing
my
it
menopausal status.
Okay, I said you're premenopausal. Years and years. You're like 30-something. But listen, I went to see Dr. Morley. We took a huge blood test. Marcy, I'm not good with blood. Marcy came with me one time. I was kicking and screaming and crying and the whole gamut. I'm much better now that I have my babies. But I want Marcy to come see you. He tests for absolutely everything. Whenever your hormones are wonky, this is what, so I'm going to go see him, and he's going to go through the whole gamut of every single test you could possibly imagine, much more so than any general practitioner would most likely ever do.
For sure.
And I'll go with you. And then we'll all go together. You'll come with me maybe when I go up and see him. Connor, did she say okay?
She's probably tired.
She's probably passed out.
Right now, yeah,
I
she's
just
singing your
asked.
praises.
She's
Yes,
screaming.
it'll be our secret.
Yep, nobody's watching, so that's good. I interrupted you, and I apologize because they said
No,
that.
I just, well, you're talking about a national
Yeah.
database. I mean, really, the goal is if, you know, like I say, you're skiing in Aspen and you break your leg, it'd be nice if they could just pull
Look
up your
up
entire
your-
medical history from
Right,
New York.
right.
So that's, you know, eventually that'll get there.
I think it's a while away. She said what?
She says, okay, I'll go.
See?
Good.
One person at a time, Doc. It's all I
There we
can do
go.
is get you one patient at a time.
Hey.
No, the truth is I'm absolutely fascinated by this stuff. I like you, believe that there's so much more going on that we don't know about, and
Absolutely.
medicine today is so quick, and you're in and you're out, and it's very surfacey, and if it's not a glaring issue, generally it's overlooked a lot of times. So
Yeah.
I think this is a great opportunity for someone to come in and get like head to toe fully checked and see what's happening, especially if you're holding on to weight. You know, if your body's not
Absolutely.
processing something, if you're not breaking down fiber as well, like there's so many different things thyroid could possibly be.
Yeah, I mean, the more, you know, as time goes on, the more we know. It's just, it takes a while to hit mainstream. So, you know,
Yeah.
we just, tomorrow's medicine today.
Okay, so I wish your daughters all the best of luck.
Thank you.
My partner went to Georgetown as well. Absolutely loved it.
Oh, yeah.
She turned out to be a world famous national correspondent for NBC News. So your daughter's going to be amazing because she graduated from Georgetown with Allen Iverson.
Are we gonna get her on soon?
Yeah, whenever you want.
You want to have her on?
Guess
Monday?
what I just roped her into? Remember that the Knights of the Round Table interesting dinners?
Oh, you're
so they
bringing
do
her?
one. Well, they do a political one. I'm not intellectually sufficient by myself to get to the political. Even though I love politics, I'm not near where Stephanie is with politics. So she's going to that one on November 7th, and then I want her to come in and talk about it
Oh, we'll have her on beforehand.
anytime you want.
Maybe we'll have her on Monday. She around Monday.
I'll ask her as long as she's not shooting. She
Okay.
works for NBC. Here at 30 Rock. This was great. You had no
Agreed.
idea what to expect, and then you were really thrown for a loop when you watched Larry on here because
Yeah, that's a tough act.
That's
Larry's
a
a
tough
little
act.
Professional comedian.
Yeah, that was a little tough, but this is great, and this is so informative, and I think people are really fascinated by it, and I hope that you come back, and
Absolutely.
especially after you do my whole workup and tell me
We'll do a follow-up.
how fantastically healthy I
Absolutely,
am.
I can already tell.
You could already just tell.
Absolutely.
Brad Pitt, everybody. Brad, Dr. Tim Morley Pitt. Just look at it. Look at it. Nikki,
Tomorrow medicine.
you don't think he looks like Brad Pitt?
Absolutely.
No, you're joking.
No.
Come on, for real. You don't think so?
Yeah,
Really? I mean, this is shocking.
It can't be.
I do. Do you think so?
I think it's a spinning image.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, go
Okay.
with it.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to go with that.
No, you should go with it.
I'm going to start.
You
You
should
went.
go out with his ex-wife.
Go
call
out.
it?
There you
Call into it.
Angelina.
Thank you very much.
go. Okay, listen,
This is
thank
it.
you. Absolutely.
Thanks. Let's
Yeah,
grab a
take
picture. Are you on Instagram?
Just started.
Good.
Yes, we've only been there.
We're still live on camera, by the way.
He just likes to do it.
How was it?
Yeah, sure you. Yes.
No, that's okay. I was panicked. I was just like, oh my
I
gosh.
wouldn't let you down.
Well, I didn't think you would. I didn't even bother checking. Like, I didn't even bother checking.
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
I lived on 56th, East 56th for like 5 years. And then moved up to Greenwich since it's closer.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Oh, I don't blame you. I don't know.
All right, smile, please.
Thank you. You did great. He took one picture where I was like,
Make sure. It's okay. I can. Otherwise,
I'm gonna run upstairs for 2
Yeah,
seconds. It was great to meet you.
Okay, you too.
I'm
Thanks.
gonna-
So I'm going to see you then soon.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I guess when they get it back, you guys call me.
When
That's
did you get
over.
it?
Last
You're live on
Friday.
camera.
Yeah.
Okay, it takes so much better. It takes about 2 weeks, two
Okay.
and a half weeks. So if you don't have something scheduled yet, I'll have somebody call you and say.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
great.
All
Thank
right,
you
great.
very, very much.
Listen, thank you.
I'll be right back.
So can I ask? I actually have. I think I have you. You're the one who's next. Yeah. Hold on. So I'll just have have somebody contact you and you know some patients.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna post it. Like I'll give you just hashtag it that way. I just tomorrow's medicine.
So tomorrow medicine. Tomorrow, you say the 10 is tomorrow's medicine.
It's called tomorrow.
Okay, you too. Thanks. Go on and get the blood work.
I will. Yeah, I'm there a lot.
Come on in.
Thank you.
Okay. See you. Bye.